3 events that could trigger some price action for XRP. How much money would you spend to hang out with Trumpito and visit the White House? What about a 300 plus million hackeroni on the SWE network? Senate advancing the stablecoin bill? Whoa. What did they really advance? And if you want the hottest and latest news in crypto, I got you covered. What about green on the screen, like ETH starting to move? Maybe that will help out the alts. But before we get into that, you know what we gotta do? Your comments. Well, it'd be the wife if she ever get back on my naughty Snapchats. But we got family visiting, so we gotta be a little bit low-key with the fun. Your comments come first. Yeah, you, viewer, you matter most. Duck Up 1222 Game says, I would love to see Caspa listed. I've seen Caspa, XDC, and HBAR as the top 3 that you want to see listed. Keep letting me know down below who you want to see listed on a major exchange. Dwayne Buttery says, Klaus, your take is the rawest. Thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time to watch and comment down the videos. Adams 9069, love the 69, would love if my wife would frickin' respond. Says, subscribing to Poppy John's is now considered treason, and Domino's Pizza will be next. You know who's next after we beat Papa John's with the subs? Because yeah, if you're watching and you're not subbed, we're going to beat Papa John's with your help. But you know who's next after we beat Papa John's? The White Sox. For real, they're next on my target list. Bitcoin's sitting at 102,803. ETH is starting to turn, 2630. BNB's at 680, while XRP's at 240. We're going to talk about institutional desire for XRP, along with 3 events happening soon, which could help us out with some price action. But first, some negative news, because remember, my job is to bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. 300 plus SWE network hack. Oh, shit. Binance lending a hand while DEX tokens take a deep dive. SWE, the popular layer net 1 blockchain that specializes in merging Web 3 with Web 2, is bystanding a breach in one of the most popular decentralized exchanges. Cetus, a DEX platform native on the SWE chain, saw a $300 million hack, with the hacker drastically draining the DEX's liquidity. Oh, shit. Prominent crypto figures, such as Binance's founder, CZ, have stepped in to offer a helping hand for the SWE network developers who are still grappling with the incident. The hacker got away with loot, starting to convert it into USDC. Oh, man. Right now, the TVL locked on SWE has slipped by 20.5% in the last 24 hours, pushing SWE's network TVL below the 2 billion mark. Cetus Protocol, Cetus' own token, sunk 21%, while the native meme coins like Double Up, Slove, and Lo-Fi have slumped outrageously, at least 35%. Jesus. The official messages from Cetus Protocol on X suggest an Oracle bug. The developer team immediately declared stopping all operation of the smart contract temporarily, citing safety reasons. By the way, smart contracts, huge target for these hackers out there. However, the popular notion is this wasn't a technical bug, but rather a deliberate attempt to drain all Cetus Protocol's liquidity pools on SWE, utilizing a multi-step exploit method for the dirty trick. Whew. Basically, you got to remember, if you write some code, there might be someone else out there that's better at writing it and can exploit it. Not good. 200 Trump crypto investors shell out $394 million for a gala dinner, but crypto concerns arise. Whatever. Okay, look. Would you spend money to hang out with Trump and to visit the White House? Well, some players did. As expected, the highly anticipated event has stirred widespread speculation across the crypto and political communities, with an expected guest list of up to 220 prominent investors. According to Bloomberg, the top 25 holders will also receive a private White House tour as part of a special reception. Look, I don't have a problem with this, because you know what? This gives some utility to the meme coin. It's better than just a meme coin that's speculation. There's utility. What if I made a Klaus coin, and part of the Klaus coin was early access to videos? What if part of the Klaus coin was like a hangout? What if part of the Klaus coin was, you see my point here? What if we attached something more than just speculation? What if we attached something cool to it? What if the White Sox were like, yo, we're going to have a White Sox coin, and if you are a top owner of the White Sox coin, you could punch Vaughn in his nutsack because he sucks so fucking bad. That'd be pretty cool. What about you Dodgers fans? What if you were a top Dodgers token owner? You could meet Shohei Ohtani. You see what I'm saying? That'd be kind of cool shit. In fact, all the attendees have also reported background checks. So do you really have a problem with that? I really don't. On average, winners spent nearly $1.8 million to secure a spot, but here's the problem. Justin Sun is the top buyer. Whoa. He spent $18.6 million worth to hang out with Trumpito. Dang, girlfriend. Justin Sun, crypto herp, hanging out with the Trump Meister. All right, now on to this. Senate advances stablecoin bill. Wrong, bad. Bad, naughty news, people. That's not what fucking happened. All that happened was a formal vote to move it to debate on the floor. That's all that we're at right now. The bill has not advanced. All that's happening right now is they said, hey, do you agree to formally debate the bill on the floor? And the people were like, I vote yay for this. And some people were like, I vote nay. Nay means no. It's not what a fucking horse does, okay? And it was like, okay. And there were more yays than nays, which means, yep, it goes to the floor for debate. It doesn't mean that it advanced the bill. It just means that we're now going to debate it. They could still shoot this thing down. They could still kill this thing completely. So that's where we're at. So be careful out there, because on Twitter, I've seen some people out there saying, oh, stablecoin bill passed. Oh my God, RLUSD is going to go to the moon because we passed. No, nothing has passed. We're at the debate stage, and we might be debating it next week after Memorial Day. If we do, maybe we'll live stream it. I don't know. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. XRP exchange net flows hit 440,000. Is the altcoins rally at risk? Well, Jesus, if we're talking $440,000, that's pretty shitty. Whale inflows and centralized exchange net flows have risen sharply, with nearly 440,000 XRP recorded in a single day. What? 440,000 whale inflow? No, that's small. Pequeño. Or pequeña. I don't know if XRP is male or female, so I don't know if it's pequeño or pequeña. You're telling me centralized exchange net flows have risen sharply with 400... Come on. No wonder we're having price action problems with XRP. If we're talking about whale inflows of 440,000 XRP, that's a joke, girlfriend. Come on now. But what are those 3 things that may influence the price of XRP this June? Well, I'm going to talk to you about them. First one, spot ETF decision. This is a good one. What's happening? One of the events is the potential approval of a spot XRP ETF. According to a financial analyst by the Mountain Fool, the SEC could reach a decision on the Franklin Templeton ETF on June 17th, so a little bit of mid-June fun. While the May approval did not occur because the SEC likes to delay. It's not just a Gensler thing, it's just an SEC thing overall. They now push the date back to June. The report notes the approval of the BTC spot ETFs in January 2024 significantly boosted BTC prices. But that's why I brought this up. Because if players are talking about whale activity with 440,000 XRP, girlfriend, we're going to need a lot more than that. We're going to need Viagra times 10. Now, the other events they suggest is XRPL Apex event. Shut the fuck up. That's not going to pump the price. The development would follow closely behind XRPL Apex June 10th to 12th and 64th. These developer events do not pump the price. When the hell has Meridian ever pumped the price of XLM? No. Trading metrics and institutional activity. They're talking about XRP's 24-hour turnover on the CME CF reference exchanges standing at 226 million. That's not going to do shit. Our trading volume overall for the native token is 3.5 billion. So what the hell are you going to do with 226 million? You better add another zero to that, girlfriend. Ain't going to do jack. You need way more institutional juice than this. Do you know what XRP really needs in order to get the price rolling? We need a Michael Saylor-esque person. Way less cringe, though, by the way. Okay? We need a Michael Saylor-esque character for XRP, right? We need someone like that, a Metaplanet, a strategy. We need players like that that want to add XRP to their strategic reserves with the same gusto, with the same money that Saylor does with XRP. And we don't have that right now. We simply don't. BTC, close to all-time highs. XRP, not there. Institutional buyers buying billions and billions and billions of BTC. Institutional buyers of XRP, 440,000 XRP in a single day. Ooh. So you see my point? We're missing a lot of zeros, girlfriend. Now let's go on over to XRP price, where we got rejected earlier around that 245 mark. Volume is healthy, which means what? Exchanges are making money. They make money when you buy, they make money when you sell. We make money when the price goes up, unless you're playing shorts, and then you make money when the price goes down. Let's go to those candlesticks and see exactly where we got rejected. I got rejected when my wife left my Snapchat unread. Yeah, that's how today's going. That's what happens when you have family visiting you. Yep, that candlestick got us to a high of 245.55, and since then we've been battling right around that 243 mark. And you kind of see this little downtrend right here. What I want to see is this. I want to see if we can hold at that 239 mark at the low, because that's where we hit right here earlier in the day. We're at that 238.8 technically. I'm going to say 239. I'm going to round up a little bit, right? I want to see if we can stay north of that. Otherwise, I'm afraid we're going to get back into the 235 friend zone, and then all of a sudden, what? We get back to the boring Aroni part of this. ETH is up 5%, Sol is up 4%, XRP is only up 1.3%. So no, Apex in Singapore is not going to pump the price. Institutional activity hasn't done jack for the price of XRP. In fact, I shared with you that the institutions dumped the crap out of XRP at 250 a few weeks ago, and then they did it again at 265 not too long ago. And here we are fighting hardcore for 241 XRP. We definitely need a less cringe version of Saylor. We need players like that gobbling up XRP, because that's why BTC is touching all-time highs, because the maxis out there have money. And what do we have, XRP fans? We've got a couple really small companies out there that added what? 100,000 XRP to their books. I think one company added $1 million of XRP to their books. What is that going to do when Ripple dumps like how many 100 million XRP every month on us? You see my point? The math doesn't add up. And that's why we're all sitting here going, yo, we're frustrated, because when we zoom out, we're like, all this good news and this is what we get? $2.41? Frustrating, I know, but remember, that's my job, to bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. No reach around action, no hopium crap, no, oh, we're going to 10,000 by Friday. None of this stupid kangaroos on charts with the rainbow triple Bollinger Band, apple bottom booty, stupid crap from E-Rag crypto that you see all over the place. No, you're not seeing it. You're not seeing the institutions gobble up XRP and hodl like you're seeing with BTC. What you're seeing with the institutions with XRP is they buy it, they get that 15-20% gains, and then they dump a Roni. And you're watching the Korean volume pairing. Buy those dips, and then when it gets up there to the 250, 265, they dump again. They play that 20, 30, 40% gain, and they pee on retail. We've been watching this play out over and over, and it's freaking frustrating. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, we still have spot ETFs going on. We're still hoping to get regs for the rest of the crypto market. I'm not talking about stablecoin regs. I'm talking about regs for the rest of the crypto market, because that's our hope. Our hope is that once we get the regs for the rest of the market, then the players can jump on in and be like, all right, we'll add it to our reserves. We can start looking at adding XRP to our reserves, because then it'd actually be legal for us to do so, because right now players are staying away. They're adding BTC by the billions, but I've been able to report on 3 companies. 3 companies adding XRP to their books, and the biggest one added like, what, $1 million worth? What are you going to do with that? When Ripple dumps hundreds of millions a month, and they got how many more billion in their treasury that they got to add to the circulating supply? So we got a ways to go. And then on top of it, what else do we got? We got all the primary buyers, right? All the primary recipients that bought XRP over the counter that need to get their profit-a-roni and then dump on the market too. So we still got some poop sandwiches we got to digest. And unfortunately, we're not seeing the price move the way that BTC is moving. And yet players out there are willing to spend $120,000 to move one transaction with BTC, yet we know it costs a fraction of a penny with XRP. It's frustrating. Very frustrating. But I'm going to keep bringing you the news. Good, bad, happy, or sad. That's my job. So, hit that subscribe button so we can beat Papa John, so I can troll them on Twitter so that they can ban me. That's the goal. Then, after we beat Papa John's, we're going to go after the White Sox. Why? Because we're going to beat them with subs too. We're definitely going to beat the White Sox with subs. I'm not going to troll them because I'm a big White Sox fan and I don't want them to ban me. I don't care if John Schriffen bans me. Well, he already banned me on Twitter because I trolled the shit out of him last year. So there's that. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches, girlfriend.